Hi, this is Mason.
We have sort of a problem here.
And you're watching the 315 with Brian Higgins Presents.
You apparently didn't put one of the new cover sheets on your TPS reports.
Transfer Portal Syracuse.
You see, we're putting the cover sheets on all TPS reports now before they go out.
With Brian Higgins and Jordan Capozzi.
Did you see the memo about this?
Capozzi.
If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great.
Capozzi.
And I'll go ahead and make sure you get another copy of that memo.
Capozzi.
We need to talk about your TPS reports.
With this week's TPS Report.
If you could go ahead and try to remember to do that from now on, that'd be great.
Here's Brian and Jordan.
All right.
All right. Jordan is back. Grover was eating a bird or something. I don't know what was going on. Like that, there was a lot of things happening in the world of technology. The problem here, Jordan. Welcome in everybody. TPS Report number 5 here on a Wednesday this week, which is our normal date and time. Which I don't know if we've even done once yet. This is our normal date and time that we've never done before. So you got to toss in a technical difficulty. What I've heard, Jordan. And good to see you, bud, is that Grover actually got wind of the bird cam, and it's just caused a whole raft of issues. He's aware of the bird cam, and that could cause a rift in our little show here.
We got to show up late more, Brian. The YouTube chat's popping.
Yeah. There's conspiracy theories about what's going on. There is our Wild Birds Unlimited Bird Camp. Once again, absolutely nothing going on in the backyard at night. It was hopping today. There was cardinals and blue jays and a sparrow of some sort. There was I think there was a couple of misidentified cardinals, which is good also because it made it look like there was more different kinds of birds. So whoops, that's the wrong button. So it really got things going in a good way today on the bird cam outside. But what's up, man? Active, the Cardinals look great, Kev. The Cardinals, its plumage is lovely. It is a bright red bird. Grover's like, what? Oh,
no.
Or is that dude?
No.
You got Grover or dude? Who's coming?
Oh, it's both of them. There's a jailbreak.
we got a jailbreak at the Capozzi's household here.
As you can see, I'm in a different seat.
You've slightly relocated.
I think we're Grover proof. Hopefully,
okay.
We'll see. Also, Brian.
Yes.
No hat today.
Yeah. Where's the Leinenkugel lid?
I got my hair cut, so I figured I'd not wear a hat for an episode.
All right, show off the fresh lettuce. There we are. We were both working on lighting after the show last time, so I'm now doing my nighttime mood lighting scene. Jordan's switching up the backdrop a little bit. We'll
see how it works.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. There's Grover's like, I know where the show is.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna have to get Grover in the open here. At some point, because he's there all the time. But welcome in, everybody. Cav, Jen, Louise, San Diego Q's, Gavendo was here. Whoever else is hanging out. I'll send out the tweet now I was meaning to send to let people know that the show is on.
Good idea.
There we are. So that's now been sent. Now maybe we'll get some more people coming to hang out. Another wacky week, right? Like, what's happened since we were last on? We got the second basketball exhibition. Do we get both basketball?
Yeah, it was the second basketball exhibition, and it was
got...
also the Joe Filardi might start the game, and he did.
And he did.
And that's all you can really say about it without being too mean.
That's true. And then Fran had a little press conference on Monday that just left me sputtering beside myself. Like, I don't know what they're doing. So I'll leave it to you, much like we did last week. Do you want to go basketball first? Because thankfully we can forget that exhibition game because they played very well on Monday in the real opener. Or we could once again try to solve football's quarterback issues. I don't know where we're at on that.
So I think basketball is the main story. However, I'm going to just tell a quick story about the football game. And if you take the bait and then you want to talk after it, you can.
I like a story.
But it's kind of a lame story, but it's telling. So after the football game, I stay late. I'm at the press conferences and I walk out of the dome. I was weirdly parked in the Mount this time, so I had to go around the stadium, up past like the ESF area, by the new gym, up the stairs, blah, blah, blah.
Little cardio.
I'm walking by gate B, yeah, and some people just hang behind, right? Now, normally, the football players, they're either together or they're, on a bus of some sort. I turn the corner, and right by the stairs to gate B, just 3 freshmen hanging out, right? 2 girls. And then
was it the starting quarterback?
It was the starting quarterback. And you could tell because all of the players in the press conference were wearing like the SU warm-ups, and he had that black polo on. But I just thought it was so funny. Like, dude doesn't even get to go on the bus. Is it because he's a walk-on? Like,
yeah, he's probably.
I swear, turn the corner right by gate B by the stairs, and it's just Joe Filardi and a couple of his buddies talking. And I'm sure they were like, "You did well, man. That was really cool watching you." But I think it put everything put a bow on everything. It's like, yeah.
He was probably going to day 6 or something. I had lacrosse players on. This is many moons ago now, but I had lacrosse players on my floor freshman year that were like actually on the team. Yeah, that's a thing that can happen. So
I just reposted the tweet.
Okay, there we go. We got Gavendo's hanging by. We still haven't figured out if Jordan can hear guests, and
that's on me.
We 100% failed at our test just before the show. So that means we're going to try it again live on the show, because that's now our apparently our running gag is to do stuff that just might not work. So realistically, whoops, that was a bad copy and paste job I just did. Realistically, I'm probably going to be able to hear Gavendo here in just a second. Jordan may or may not be able to hear Gavendo in just a second, and we'll find out what's up. What's up, Matt? Welcome to the program.
Hey, boys.
How you doing? Does Jordan hear him? Jordan?
No, he doesn't.
I don't get it. It's mysterious. It's mysterious. There's a button here, Matt, that says guests hear each other, of which both of you are in the same system as guests on here, and you don't hear each other. Whereas on postgame shows, other times it has worked. So I'm baffled by this occurrence. But anyway, good to see you, man. What's up?
Well, I'm really encouraged by what I saw against Binghamton, and knowing that our shooting guard was out, we filled that role pretty well. And I'm really excited. Our point guard's great. Our 2 through 4 is great. Our center's great. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, the column I wrote today for the Juice Online, Gavendo, if you didn't see it, was basically like, I don't remember the last time I had legit fun watching Syracuse basketball. Monday was fun. There's alley-oops. They're running around. There's a guy named Anthony who's putting the ball in the basket. I'm like, it stinks that JJ got hurt, but it was like when JJ goes down 4 minutes in, it's like, oh my goodness, here we go again. And then they go and play well and exciting ball the rest of the way. And I think it's great. Like, who knows? Binghamton's not any good, I don't think, but at least for a day, we all got to feel good about the program again.
JJ, let's say he's hurt for another couple games or has a bad game. How encouraged are you by what we can fill in if he's not up to snuff?
Yeah, we talked about this a lot on the postgame show on Monday. Like last year when JJ was out for a month, they were 100% screwed. Like 100% screwed. This year, they put in Carmelo Anthony's kid, which is much better than being screwed. And Cayenne, obviously he's not dad, but I mean, that dude's got a bag. He scored from outside mid-range, got to the rim, threw a couple alley-oops. Like, he's really good. Now, you don't want to be without JJ, but it's one of those things where I don't know what happened with JJ. It looked like maybe it was his calf or something. They didn't really let into it. Say he needs to miss the next game or two, and I'm just speculating. All right, let him heal up. There's no reason to rush him back, right? You just toss Cayenne in the starting lineup and you go because you feel good about the depth you have this year.
Word is on the street that Melo's going to be there. Are they is Syracuse basketball in their custody agreement, or do we get them every other game now?
Yeah, that's a great question. Will Melo and Lala be there together? I don't know. They've gone back and forth. Melo had NBC duties, I think, the other night that he needed to be somewhere. I don't know. I bet they'll be there at the same time at some point. They got the good courtside seats there, protected. it bumped Paulie back behind the first row. They stole Paulie's seat, which is even funnier. So, there's fun
Now
stuff.
Paulie can't see over Jim Sandelin or Matt
No,
Park.
Paul. It's the game is a rumor to Paulie at this point as the season goes along. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm very, very encouraged by what we saw Monday night, Matt.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you, Matty. And Jordan once again doesn't get to participate in our. I don't know why that doesn't work.
So it works with other people.
Well, I did a test at some point that it worked where people could hear each other, and I recall going in the way back, like the first football post-game show I did, I had this guest cheer each other button clicked, and we learned live on the air. I had two people on hold at the time, and one guy was like, I could hear the other guy talking, and we were talking to each other. I'm like, oh, I did not know that. So I've been keeping it off, but now here I'd like, well, I'll just turn that thing back on, and it'll be great. And it turns out, yeah, not so much. Not so much.
I wonder, does it have anything to do with the fact that I joined before the show?
No, I wouldn't think so. I don't know. There's a lot of settings here that I always say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to figure this out before the show next week, which then led today at like 7:55. You know what's a great time to figure this out right now? And then we did a whole thing. So, there you are. You're all behind the scenes on that. Yeah, Jordan. If Jordan had put his hand up, he could have scratched Gavendo's face.
I did a little bit. That's my fault. You're being too kind, so I'll tell the people, and then we can go to
I
basketball.
don't even know it's your fault.
No, you were looking to get me on at like 7:50, and I was worried about my lighting, which is still mediocre at best. I was having trouble with my mic. There's lots of buttons, so it's okay. But Gavendo wants to talk hoops. Yeah. I'm down to talk hoops.
That was fun. So, like you were there, man. Like that.
Yeah.
Like just watching on TV. That was a fun watch. It kept me engaged in the building. Was it fun in the building?
Yeah. It was a good time, and I think people were engaged throughout. The most shocking part of the game was legitimate "We want Noah" chants for Noah Lobdell.
Like
legitimate
5 minutes.
Chants.
Like it was the whole
and
end
it wasn't
of the game.
just the student section. I sit behind one of the baskets, and at one point it was coming from both sides. They wanted Noah. And my question, a lot of the student section on weeknights is probably freshmen, right? Freshmen and sophomores. I would say that's a fair assessment.
Probably.
How do they know the legend of Noah Lobdell? Kids who just got here.
Yeah, like how did that spread? Because obviously in the past the chant would be "We want the walk-ons" or "We want walk-ons" because there was like 7 million of them. They've changed the roster rules, and now there is but one. And
yeah,
there's NIL, and these things are very directly connected. I think you can figure out how 1 + 1 equals a few $1 million there, and how these the players are on Syracuse's team. And then Red did not give the people what they wanted.
No, there were two things. I think we saw a lot of good. I guess there are two things that I'm not. One thing that obviously needs to get better, and one of them I'm not so sold on. The thing that needs to get better is obviously the 3-point shooting.
Yeah,
I was promised a shooter. I was promised that Nate King's guy could shoot. Yeah. And he's not looking that good of a shooter.
Well, was he there? Like of all the players that were in attendance on Monday, the game happened. I'm like, well, did he play? Like it didn't occur because everyone else had it going at least on some level. I think he had 4. You barely remember.
Yeah. Betsy made 1 as well, but let me tell you, in that first game, I was saying that he reminded me of Chris Bell with a motor. He was just kind of reminding me of Chris Bell. He was just kind of absent. So
yeah, he got he's good at acquiring volume in the shots attempted category. He's good at getting that,
which is helpful.
Yeah, which it didn't see a lot else going on there. But man, I get it. Binghamton's bad. Like they weren't good to begin with, and like they had like half their key guys were hurt and whatever. But like Nate George, he can play. And Cayenne Anthony, like Cayenne can go. Like Cayenne's really good.
I'm sorry. Dispatch in the West just put Noah L, the pride of faith heritage, and that one got me.
Park did drop that line late.
Did he?
Yes, because he and Devo were talking about it late. there was a lot going on in like the last 5 minutes of the game. Like, because Matt yesterday got the Marty Glickman Award at Newhouse, and I went to the thing like Tarico, Costas, McDonough, Ian Eagle, literally Jason Benetti was there, like Marv Albert. Like, it was just an unbelievable room of people. But Sean was at the game Monday, and at the under 4 time of the second half, he brought Matt a cake, like, and gave him a cake on camera coming out of the last time out of the game. And Matt's like, what do I do with this cake? And then they start chanting for Noah, and he mentioned Faith Heritage. There was a lot going on down the stretch if you were watching on TV last night.
Keeping in mind that Noah is more successful than I ever will be, I'm just going to say this as good fun, and I'm sure he'd take it on the chin. Just go read the Syracuse bio, like the things they write about his accomplishments leading up to Syracuse. And like, it's actually kind of a funny read because you're used to certain things like, oh, averaged 30 points and ran track and was the state champion football as well. And then his is like scored 12 points against Sackett's Harbor or something like that.
Wear it,
but
Sackett's.
I love his vibe, though. He seems like everybody loves him. So here's the thing I'm not sold on, right? William Kyle can run. William Kyle can jump. William Kyle can carry the offense against undersized teams.
Yep.
That Lilly guy who, yes, he played at Penn State at one point. He also was averaging 7 a game at LaSalle and had to transfer out. 7 a game. I think he was averaging like 20 minutes a game. He was averaging like 7 a game at LaSalle. Okay?
Like,
so
and he's like big-ish, but he's not tall. Yeah.
What did he have? Like 17 and 13 or something?
It was something like that.
It was something that he's doing that, and I get it. The intensity is not there the whole game. You're letting him do that. What are we supposed to expect when you have legitimate like ACC bigs? So I'm not going to let one game against Binghamton convince me that William Kyle is the answer to all of our problems. I like what he's bringing. I love how he runs the floor. I also love Soiree. He's going to be that Quiddier guy this year. He's in the sense that he's really fun to talk to. He daps me up every time I go in there, and he was like,
okay.
I want more foul calls. I got hyped. I'm not convinced the center position is all fixed just because William Kyle has carried the offense in 2 games against D3 teams, basically.
Right. I don't think he's like, obviously you're not going to go through the season just alley-ooping on everybody's head the whole year. But what I like is the idea that you have Kyle, you have Sadiq, Donnie Freeman seems willing and able and healthy to mix it up inside this year. That it's not, I don't think it's going to be on Kyle. Like, okay, say the other team has a big. It's not like, all right, you go stop him. I think then it's just like a swarm. Or the fact that so few teams have a legit big guy anymore. I don't know how much it matters. Like, there might be a few games where Syracuse just gets absolutely demolished inside, but it'll be so few games on the schedule. I don't think it's a big issue. Like, I'll say this, I'd rather have that than what we had last year than a big guy that they couldn't guard and couldn't jump. Like, it's a much better situation.
William Kyle offers nothing in the form of dry rub, Brian.
Nothing, though. That's true.
So
he's not snapping at all.
Yeah, so watch it. I don't know. I understand that not all teams have bigs, but at the same time, 6'9" is still 6'9". Like, you're still going to find teams that even if it's not their main guy, all the good teams are at least going to have a guy who's 6'10", 6'11", and like bigger.
Yeah.
So
what Syracuse doesn't have is anyone that's like 240, 250. Like, they're topping out at 225.
But at the same time, this is just a let's make the tournament. It's not a let's be better than Duke. So I think credit to you because you've been saying it a lot and you've been waiting for this. So it's your time. But William Kyle, if he's proved one thing, he is the guy that Autry needs to do what he wants to do, because I am so impressed with, balls on one end of the floor. And by the time the guard has the ball up to the other end, William Kyle's already there. He's quick. Mm-hmm. It's like, how did he get there? And I love that.
Well, and I think it's good in the games where you are dealing with a bruising type of team and, we're less than 3 weeks away from seeing, like, the apex version of that with Houston, which isn't tall guys, but my goodness, do they know where the gym is at. That's going to be a fascinating game because there's no harder team in the country to speed up. And there's no team in the country tougher than them year in and year out. So, like, going in, you're going to lose the toughness battle. It's can you just remotely hang in? And I think it'll be interesting if Syracuse's athleticism can, I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but, like, can they hang? And I think they at least now have a style that can maybe allow them something to throw at those teams where, like, last year was like, well, just don't even bother showing up.
Now, here's the issue, though, and I talked about this after the exhibition. They came out of the gate pressing. I believe it was after the first media timeout, if not earlier, and I loved it. I thought it was a great move. Good luck against Houston trying to run a press in the first half while all those guys are fresh. It might work for a minute. It's not going to work for any longer. And then what do you do after that? So, again, is it going to work against the really good teams? But what I am confident in, and I don't think you could say this at the beginning of the year before we saw it, looking at all those games on the schedule leading up to Houston, I was like, yeah, they're going to win. Yeah, they're going to win. Yeah, they're going to win easily.
Well, this is what I said after the game, and I looked into it more. Like, all right, if we all blacked out the last 5 years of Syracuse basketball and it just never happened, or the last 10 years of Syracuse basketball never happened, he said, all right, Syracuse opened the season with a 38-point win over Binghamton or pick, something similar to that. Like, okay, yeah. That happens literally every year. Well, it hasn't happened in the last few years. Last year they beat Lemoyne by 2 and Colgate by 4, or the other way around, and they had to go 2 overtimes to beat freaking Youngstown State. And yeah, they won all the games, but it was like, oh my goodness, when they play a real team, this is about to get bad. It doesn't guarantee anything blowing out Binghamton, but at least tells you that, okay, you've got, if you can blow out anybody, they haven't blown out anybody in years. Like, all right, they blew out somebody, now maybe you can play with somebody that's actually decent. And I think, like, for me, that's the main hope I took away from all that.
I also love that Kyan's just a playmaker, and I don't know whether that was a him decision, a Red decision, a Mello decision, an everybody decision, but I don't think his playmaking was what was advertised, and he is out there just playing team basketball. I mean, there are times he's a tad reckless, but he does a good job mixing the ability to find his shot with the ability to still look for his teammates. And Kyan has shown me everything I could possibly want early on. That was my concern. Is Kyan going to be as ready as everyone thinks he is? And just the way he's playing basketball, and again, against Binghamton, but I think he's playing good team basketball, and he's where he should be right now, which eliminates a fear I had. Yeah,
he's really good. And because you never know, right? When you're the kid of Carmelo Anthony, like he's worked out with all the top trainers. He's learned all these one-on-one moves. The fear is that, all right, you're going to try to actually play 5-on-5 basketball one-on-one. Well, he had those moves, but he used them at the right time. The other times he actually did basketball stuff. So, I couldn't have been more encouraged. I get it. Binghamton stinks. But I couldn't have been more encouraged. To your question, Spetch and Louise, is King's an actual last name? Well, technically, that is Nate's actual last name because he legally got it changed to King's. He's foster kid, in and out of the system, something. He used it as like, I forget what his actual last name is. He used it as something like, as this is the reset point of my life, and it's a happy, heartwarming story, Spatch and Louise. It's to feel good about. So it's a name that he created himself. That's why it's got a Z.
What is it with the best shooter on Syracuse and having a different last name than they were born with?
Well,
what's up with that?
Yeah. Where's Chris Bunch? I still think Chris Bunch could have had a hell of a career.
Did anything else stick out to you in terms of that game? Because other than that, I mean, I was pleased with how they were. More just like
I think Nate George played really well. Like he was like the exhibition season. I'm like, okay, what's this guy all about? But I thought he was, especially JJ goes out early. He was in control of the game without being just overly assertive. Like the ball was moving. The ball wasn't sticking like that. That's credit to the point guard. for getting it going. He hit a couple of shots. He was throwing the nice lobs to Kyle. I was impressed by him, and he's going to play a ton of minutes this year. And now we didn't get to see it with JJ, but it was good to see that he and Cayenne worked well off each other. So say JJ is hurt for a little bit. Like, you have legit depth. You had a way to do it. The biggest thing I took away, though, Jordan, was just the vibes. Vibes were good. Vibes have been crap. It's been multiple years. Like, last year was just terrible from the start. Red's first year wasn't terrible, but it was just, there was something off, like, about that whole season, the Judy year. Like, yeah, they won 20 games. Something was off about that entire season. Vibes not great. Like, they were an okay team. Vibes not great. Boeheim's last few years was just kind of like, we know this is about to end, but this is weird. Like, what's going on? This is the first time probably since Buddy Buckets making the Sweet 16 run that vibes have legit been good around Syracuse basketball, and it's good to feel and remember that again. Hopefully not just for one night.
Hopefully not. Like I said, I think you'll get at least 4. You've been the vibes monitor, and I love it. That's been your whole thing. Like, you just want people to be still going to the games and be happy. And,
well, yeah, like last year, like
that's a good goal to have.
I wrote it today. Like, last year we hate watched the whole season. Like, we watched it. I watched every minute of the damn season, and I didn't enjoy a single second of it. Like, it wasn't fun. Last year's basketball season was misery. Like, this year, Monday was fun. And I was worried, especially the last exhibition game was crap. And it's like, okay, are we doing the same thing again, or is that an exhibition game? One game in, it was an exhibition game, so we can breathe out a little bit.
Now, they're not doing they posted this thing where 1 stop and you get an X on the Tron. 2 stops and you get 2 X's and you're in the orange zone.
Okay.
And then when you get 3 stops, I think they're doing like a fan takeover. I didn't quite understand it because everybody no-sold it in the dome.
So
and they were
trying
stops.
to start like a defense NBA jam. Yeah. They're on fire, but the opposite.
Yeah. And I think what happened
that's
is
not
after
a thing.
3 stops, there's like a fan takeover, and I think it shows all the fans in the dome, and that incentivizes them after 3 stops, go crazy. But like, it just didn't work at all. It was a fun try. So, and I think here's the problem: they got too many stops. There were so many stops. Like, what? They didn't score Binghamton for the first 4 minutes, right?
No, it was 10-0 for a minute.
So no one was ready for it. They were just so spoiled. I like when they try fun things, though. The false start counter, the move, get out the way for first downs for football. That's annoying but fun.
Yeah, I'd say good luck with that one catching on, but maybe.
He takes the orange zone.
Yeah,
no, the orange zone is 2, and then 3 is the fan takeover. I'm pretty sure. I think.
It's just, I mean, it's like he's heating up. He's on fire. Like that progressed in a way that made sense in my head. This is hurting my brain. This is hurting my brain a little bit. I wasn't prepared for that.
It's confusing.
I'll give you, this is a Syracuse basketball tangential idea, which, go figure, of all the things I've said on social media in the last few weeks, this is the one that got seen the most, and it was just simply reposting a tweet with Chance Westry's final line from the opener the other night when he had like 23 points against some crap school. It's good to see he's a real boy and he's alive. People are out of their mind about Chance Westry, like either happy or like, what the hell? It's just, it's funny how traumatized we were by the 2 years of Chance Westry watch.
You should be less upset about Westry and more upset about our boy Pitar, who had 13 and 10 with 2 threes.
Oh,
Look, man, I know Long Beach State.
Yeah, it was one of the West Coast states.
And I liked Pitar, man. I know he wasn't always perfect, but I thought he was mobile enough to where he could have passed on this team and he could have figured it out. Now, seeing what they have, no, Pitar.
Yeah, I don't know where Pitar's minutes were coming this year.
But I liked Pitar, and that's the one that hurt me more, 13 and 10. Also, Kyle Cuff is not even a starter at Mercer.
Oh my
He was
goodness.
coming off the bench, dude.
Oh no.
He was coming off the bench. At one point, his stat line, he had played, I think, like 6 minutes, 0 for 3, and then he had a block, which that's just the most Kyle Cuff stat line ever.
There's just so many guys in so many places. I just can't keep up with it. I'm happy for Chance. Like, I know Chance Westry from a hole in the wall. Like, we never got to know him even a little bit the last couple of years, but good for him that he's healthy and playing ball now. Yeah, Dior Johnson's still playing college somewhere. I think he's kicking around.
I don't know. We don't talk about him. He's a certified bad dude.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, Pitar wanted to be in Cali. Yeah, Pitar's just been. He jumped the ocean and he's like, this coast, no, I will try the other coast. I'm like, all right. He's probably slowly working his way toward Australia or something. He'll transfer to Hawaii next year. He's just gonna keep going. That would be an excellent vibes move by Pitar if he can pull it
Speaking
off.
of Australia, I guess I'll mention this too. I knew Fennell, like, look, you didn't expect him to light the world on fire, and you shouldn't need him that much. But what I would have liked, in case we do need him, he seemed incredibly hesitant. There were a couple of times where I was sitting there like, you should just take that shot. Like, you should just pop that, or maybe just try to dribble a little bit, see what happens. And it was me playing pickup basketball after I just broke my own ankles and lost the ball out of bounds, then got crossed over on the other end, and then airballed a 3. And I get the ball next possession, I'm just swinging it. No thought of anything else. You just immediately swing it. I would like to see Fennell in these upcoming games. I want to see what he actually does.
Yeah, because we hear he shoots it well, but I haven't seen it yet. He definitely has a little sauce on his passes, but it's just passes that are going around the perimeter. So it's like, that's a nice that you one-handed that one over there, Luke. I don't know what the point of that was. Yeah, but especially to tie into what you said earlier, that we've seen how Cayenne handles the ball and all that. We spent a lot of the coming into the season, all right, who's the backup point guard if Nate George needs to sit a little bit? Like, if Cayenne's going to do that and JJ's back healthy, I'd say that is going to pretty much eliminate whatever potential need there was for him this year. Not to say he can't be a thing long term, because, I mean, the dude's 6'6", and, if he plays up to his potential at some point, I think he could be excellent. But I don't know if there's a lot of room in the rotation. If JJ's healthy, like, if you can do 3 guards, JJ, Cayenne, and George, and it's all kind of interchangeable, I think that, like, that's good. I don't know if you need much more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. And Fennell didn't do much of anything, and Zephyr, he didn't mess anything up, so that's a win in my book.
Yeah,
like,
he was on the court.
I didn't see him do anything, and I was like, get him out. Like, he went out there, he played his minutes, and he went back. I watch out for Soiree, though, man. I really liked what he brought defensively. I think he's
got
that
energy.
guy. He does, and when Kyle needs a blow, like, I think that you can get Soiree in, but I think you might see him in some situations just where you need a little bit more in terms of rim protection. Like, that's what I've noticed out of him these first couple times I've seen him in the Dome. I like what he brings in terms of rim protection. And again, he's very funny in the locker room. He likes talking. And
we like people that like to do that.
The clip is funny where he's like, oh, I was mad about the charge. I went over to the bench and I was like, yeah, call more fouls. I need more fouls. Yeah. So he's a funny dude, but yeah, I'm excited. And yeah, we got Zephyr had a couple nice passes. He did his thing. Like, he did all he needed to do. And, he won't do anything probably in a few games because he's the depth guy.
I'll find it very strange. Yeah. I'll find it very strange if he's on the court in, like, real games, but you need people on the roster. Delaware State's currently losing by 18 to Temple. Okay. Like, I think Delaware State is probably marginally better than Binghamton, but Syracuse should.
I don't know what's up with Drexel. Like, I feel like they should be a little better than those teams, but just based on what I've seen, it's not going to be much. Like, I
keep forgetting that game's in Philly because that just keeps catching me off guard.
Yeah, but like, that shouldn't do anything either. And then what is it Colgate after that, right? So what better would the vibes be than to just
smack the
eat
gate
it,
around?
Langle?
Yeah. Your boy?
Like, yeah.
I mean, we know you guys go back. You guys are tight.
Yeah.
You could text him right now. You could get him on this show and then not hear what he's saying. that we could do.
Should I be like, Matt, can you come on the show? I have a feeling this won't be the year he'll want to come on the show.
No,
We'll see.
we got a new thing going here, Coach. You can we'll chat it up with him. Yeah, I have not really looked into Colgate this year yet to see where they're going to be vis-a-vis their recent level. But I'm excited for the season in a way that I don't think we've been around here for Cuse basketball. Like you always try to talk yourself into it. Monday was legitimately fun basketball to watch, and it's been like as good as Judah was. Like when he was good, it's like okay, we're watching Judah go 1-on-12. Like he's really talented. This was fun basketball to watch, and we haven't seen it in a long time.
Poor man's Kenneth Fareed. I love it. Just
Kenneth
hearing
was jacked,
poor man's
though. Like
Fareed.
Kenneth was a big dude.
Yeah. That's just a basketball guy. Also, I see Lou in the chat mention Pat. I will say, at the first exhibition, saw Pat right there. He's doing his thing. He looked as happy as ever. He looked like he was vibing. He wasn't panicking, even though it was a bad game against Pace. I was like, you mad about this, Pat? He's like, no, not yet. It's an exhibition. So Pat's in good spirit as I kick a mirror and it makes a noise in the background that you may or may not have heard.
I may have to do just a direct reach out to Pat. Like I know Pat knows we're doing these shows. Like he's not appeared on any of my post games yet, and it was like, all right. And he likes to make the tour of like every post game show that exists. So I may have to just say, just don't forget about us over here in the corner, and see if he can get his crazy breed of post game.
We'll get him in there.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. All right, should we do a little? Did Stevie Thompson pass through Long Beach State on the coaching side?
Oh no.
He certainly did a lot of West Coast coaching. He was at Cal State L.A. I don't know if that's where he was the head coach. When Boeheim brought him in for a couple of exhibition games from out there. Which is actually where I think Daryl Gross is the AD right now, if you want to fully tie it together. Yeah, then Stevie was up at Oregon State as an assistant. Yeah, I mean, just get Pat, Vito, and Dro. Get the whole club back together. We got to get the whole team back together.
So I think you're going to ask we should slide over to football. I forgot about something we can discuss, but Kev asked, is Pace better than Binghamton? Here's what I'll end this with, unless this baits you back in. Mm-hmm. There were two differences between the Pace game and the Binghamton game. One of them is that exhibition versus real.
Yes.
The other one is somebody didn't play for the majority of the Binghamton game. There are going to be games where J.J. Starling is going to save them.
Yeah.
You also wonder, in terms of defense, he's not a plus quite yet. He's not necessarily a shooter. JJ can hit the mid-range, and JJ can drive to the hoop very, very well. I do wonder if against a team like Binghamton, they might have actually looked a little better without him, just because of what he doesn't necessarily do well. I'm not saying that they're better without him. We're not playing that game, but I think this might have been a game where they're going to look better without him. Also, just because other guys who are getting a shot out there are going to be more motivated to do so. Like, let's be real. JJ Starling's not getting up for Binghamton. He's going to go out there and play, but he's been there, done that. Kyan, on the other hand, that was a chance for him to show out.
Yeah, and he's been everywhere and done a lot of stuff, but he literally hadn't played a college basketball game before that. I did... on the Is Binghamton Any Good? At this event last night with all the broadcasters there, I saw Josh Wetzel, who is the voice of the Buffalo basketball team and calls AAA baseball for many, many moons in Rochester. Good dude. And I forget which guy it was on Binghamton, one of their guys that started transferring from Buffalo, but apparently couldn't even get on the court at Buffalo, so that kind of tells you what Binghamton was throwing on the court last night. So yeah, no, Binghamton's not good, and their two of their three best guys were hurt. But yeah, Syracuse should blow those teams out, and they blew them out. So blowing out bad teams is good. How about that?
So is giving players who want red shirts, and that is probably the most intriguing part of this football thing now.
What the hell is going on? What is going on?
I had heard rumblings. I don't think it was rumblings. Somebody might have mentioned it online or something. Or maybe it was Fran in the presser. I tuned in late, but somebody mentioned that Carney's parents apparently weren't happy about how the season was going, and Fran mentioned the red shirt thing, and Luke came out and was like, yeah, I want to keep my red shirt, but obviously if we have to play, then I'll play. And this whole thing's just funky, but it makes you wonder why he went in at all in that last game.
Yeah, I don't get it. Or the one play against was it Colgate, whatever game that was, way back.
Oh yeah, he ran in the touchdown against Colgate.
Yeah, Collins had to come out because his helmet came off or whatever it was, and he came in. So now you've only got.
Did you know Beelan was hurt, by the way?
No.
I didn't know this. I just found this out at the game. Apparently, Beelan's hurt. I guess
that's what they don't talk about. Like, Fran has been so mysterious about the quarterback stuff that I don't know what's going. Is Jakari Williams alive? Like, I don't know. Do we need to send people to find out if he's still there? Like, here's the thing now. They're screwed regardless here for the next 3 weeks. We can all agree they're screwed. It doesn't really matter what they do. This is not about. I mean, it's about trying to win the games, obviously, but you're not going anywhere this season. In my mind, okay, yeah, for Luke Carney, if you are transferring or if you're not transferring, realistically, you want to preserve a year of eligibility. If you're going to stay, though, and now, would he have a chance to start these 3 games? I don't know, because the times they put him on the field, they haven't even let him throw the ball. So already there's something just weird going, like vibes there, vibes weird. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, he comes in the game and they don't let him throw the ball. They put a lacrosse player in the game and they let him sling it all around the lot, even though he went 4 for 18.
I've been fighting with people about this, okay? I know Carney hasn't gotten a lot of chances to throw. Here's the difference. First of all, not to be that guy, part of this is they've seen in practice what Carney's going to do.
Right.
And that tells me that this is probably true more often than not, even though there's a small sample size. When Carney gets a play called to throw the ball, he doesn't throw the ball. I know he runs the ball a lot. Some of those are clearly like he's supposed to pass. Look, he may not throw it where he's supposed to. I think there were some plays where he actually threw a good ball and his receivers, specifically receivers who family members get upset on live radio about them not getting the ball, didn't make catches.
Yeah.
But Filardi just got rid of the ball and threw it. And I think that's why he was in, because he was like, well, this is my chance. I'm going to throw it. When Carney does have the rare chance to throw the ball, he holds onto it and doesn't throw the ball. And you just need to throw the ball.
Yeah, I'm just trying
but I've been fighting with people about this for a while.
And I'll agree with you on that. But what we're saying here is no matter what you got here the next 3 games, you're screwed. So how do you want to be screwed? Do you want to play the guy you spent a lot of money on that you backed staunchly for a month that clearly isn't going to be here next year? Ricky's not going to be here next year. Fran looks like, he could be back as the backup next year. He's not going to be here next year. Are you going to play the lacrosse walk-on? Come on. He sounds like a phenomenal lacrosse player, but do we honestly believe there's any point in the future of Syracuse football this guy's the starter? Come on.
How mad would Gary be if he got I'm not going to finish the sentence, but he's getting sacked and hit by the O-line a lot.
I'd say
How mad would Gary be?
Out of all of the head coaches at Syracuse, Gary is by far the most laid back. That would just be like, oh, look at that. My top 30 recruit just got snapped in half by a Miami NFL player. Huh. I'm going to go design a new wacky defensive head that's like a jigsaw that I can saw people's sticks out of their hands.
He made one that looked like it had shark fins on it.
You can grab the stick and pull it.
That's awesome.
I can't even conceive that could possibly be legal, but God bless Gary Gay.
Carney's going to start the BC game. That's my theory. They're going to let Joe Filardi get beat up by a couple of legit teams, and then they're going to give Carney one more start against Boston College.
Well, that's the thing.
That's my thought.
You realize this season was off the rails a few weeks ago. This is where the big picture planning should have come in. If you knew you wanted to redshirt him and get him some couple starts, well, after this week is the bye, so don't play him last week, and then you can start him the last 2 games. Or you could have, if you're saying, hey, this is a guy we want here long term because, he's not maybe quite ready now, but maybe in a couple of years, after a red shirt and waiting around here, if he sticks around that long and waits out Angeli, we think he can be the guy for a few years. I get you don't want to blow the red shirt. You do not. It is not required to redshirt as a freshman. You could have started him the last 4 games of this season and redshirted him next year while also being the backup. He could have been the backup quarterback next year and redshirted if you planned it out right. Which all tells me they just don't think he needs to be on the field right now. But you got to pick one of them, and all the different things they've done makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. Like, you can't toss Carney. Like, don't toss Carney in for 3 series this week. Like, that's a waste of time. It's a waste of everybody's time.
I truly don't get the point of that. And I guess, look, he went in against Colgate before Angeli got hurt.
Yeah.
At that point, you have 2 quarterbacks, and Luke Carney's never going to see the field. So that's Fran Brown throwing him a bone, being like, hey, let's get you on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do something. Okay, very fun. But then it makes no sense. And then we get to the hypocritical part, because let's combine this with all the fans saying, like, we want Carney, and people in the media, you, me, others who were like, well, we got to see Carney. Well, if the plan is to redshirt him, then I see why you're hesitant. But again, I don't see why you just put him in for a series or 2. Like, make the most of it. That's what's baffling to me. Like, why do you even put him in the
he played 2 series last week and didn't throw the ball. Now, to your point, were any of those, I mean, I don't know how many of those plays he had the option to throw the ball and opted against or got sacked or whatever. I have no idea. But it doesn't make sense. And now, but at the same time, Fran is telling us he's still trying to win the games, and that he chose the guy to win the games was the lacrosse player. So you're telling me that, like, okay, I'll believe he shows out in practice, sure, whatever. I don't know. But like, all of these things can't be true. It's impossible for all of these things to be true. Or if all of these things are true, it means the overall planning of after Angeli got hurt this season was just incredibly poor, where you just didn't think it out. They just were like, oh crap, we're screwed, and they stayed screwed.
Is it fair to get rid of the passing game coordinator right now? Like, it seems like Fran, and like, I respect him doing it. So I'm not saying this is necessarily negative, but it seems like every week he's just doing something to try and prove that he's still trying.
Yeah.
Like the Filardi thing, like, we're going to try something different. Now the whole coach shakeup, we're going to try something. I understand the receivers in the last game weren't getting a lot of separation. It feels kind of tough to, fire White, or he's not with the program anymore. So
yeah, to fire the wideouts coach after you started a lacrosse player who went 4 for 18 is like, okay, this is all right. If you're ready for my conspiracy theory here. I will start this with saying this is not sources. This is not based on anything other than this. So they Jordan is leaning in. Should I talk softer? In the offseason, like, Jeff Nixon was a very hot name. Jeff Nixon had a great year last year. We all like Jeff. He's a really, really nice guy. I thought he did a fantastic job working with Kyle last year. They bring in Josh Gaddis in some, analyst, whatever the hell role he had this year. Just one of the, you're not a coach, but you're here roles. And he has been around the block, Alabama, Michigan coordinators, whatever. Like, he is a dude in the industry that people know that coordinates college offenses. That felt to me at the time like, all right, here's our break glass in case of emergency down the line if Nixon goes back to the NFL, gets an NFL OC job or whatever. Makes sense. Now the season happens. Fran, in his halftime interviews or between quarter interviews, has called out the offensive play calling 80% of the time this year. Like, a confusing amount, right? So now Gaddis is on the staff. I don't know what kind of input he has in the game planning now, but now Now he's one step away from the throne, right? Like now you might make the move for another reason in the offseason, like because Fran has said, hey, NFL guy, we want to cut. And he also said that Gaddis is close with the freshman. Well, who's going to be back next year? The freshman. So I found that very interesting how he phrased that on Monday.
Well, so you think that, would you say that Gaddis might even have been brought in knowing that Nixon was probably gone after this year?
I think he was, now, again, do I know this? No, but I would say he was brought in under the idea
this adds up.
That Nixon would be gone after this year, like for a good reason. Like, man, he killed it with McCord last year. He had interviews, right? Didn't he interview with the Bears or something? Like he had interviews to be an NFL offensive coordinator. I think it was a reasonable thought that, okay, this guy's here another year.
Texans, I want to say.
Yeah, Texans, that sounds right. I think there was a reasonable thought that he'd be in the league next year. And he had just spent the previous 5-6 years in the league. So it seemed like, okay, that makes sense. Other schools of major ilk, like Nick Saban, did that when it was after, I'm trying to remember which of the disgraced and now back in good graces former coaches. I think this is when he shoved Lane Kiffin out the door before like the playoff one year, and he just had Steve Sarkisian had been just sitting on the bench all year doing nothing. It's like, you're the OC now, and now he's Texas's head coach. So like,
keep popping off. I'm listening.
So like this has happened at high levels, and I don't know. My think, the context clues are everywhere, San Diego clues. You've been on this from the beginning. I just if I were to say right now who's going to be the offensive coordinator, Syracuse, the offensive coordinator next year, like based on what we've seen, and again, 1 week has not meant anything to the week after here in the last month or so. Like a month ago, I'd have been like, yeah, of course Jeff Nixon's going to be here next year. I'm not on that bandwagon anymore now that the context clues. Like Fran's been like every game questioning the play calling. He's got another guy right there that he knows has done the play calling, and he just put him on the staff.
People are kind of turning on Nixon too. And if there was one guy I never ever thought, and I'm talking like even Fran Brown above him,
right?
It was Jeff Nixon. And the amount of
I love Jeff.
people,
he's such a nice guy.
It's not a ton, but there are some people, it's growing each week, who are pretty much saying that Nixon should be adjusting the offense more. And Fran said it too. Yeah. He blamed it on himself, but he clearly wasn't blaming himself. But people are turning on Nixon. I'm curious. Basically, we're back to square one. I'm wondering just how much did Kyle McCord help every single person in the Syracuse football program, dude?
The answer is yes.
Game management stuff, it's looked terrible a lot. Especially when Carney was in, but those plays are taking forever to get in. They're just having trouble at the line. Just play calls look bad. That's McCord. Just the receivers, he put so many guys.
Oh, he threw them open
in positions to go. Yeah, to go to the league.
I also wonder too, like the amount of times they had good like halftime adjustments. Okay, how many of the suggestions were coming from the quarterback? Like his opinion was clearly valued.
Yeah, so I'm. This is potentially a little much, but that's what I'm seeing every week when I watch the game. I'm wondering, like, how much was Kyle McCord doing? Like, was Kyle McCord genuinely making every single person in that entire program look better? Now, also, this schedule is brutal, and they have no quarterback. I think both can be the answer, but you've got to be seeing it. There are things out there where you're like, that never would have happened with Kyle McCord, and this coaching staff has a year more experience now.
And to T-Take's point, like Nixon calls a very NFL-style game, which I thought he would. I thought he would be more adaptive when they went to Ricky, and it just really wasn't. And that's what Fran keeps bringing up. That did surprise me. But Kyle McCord's an NFL-style quarterback. So last year, the marriage is perfect. Like, you had an NFL quarterback, and you're calling an NFL system. And you were running it with NFL wideouts and pass catchers. Look what Arande's doing in the league right now. Like, it worked. It worked. All right, we do have a call. We got a caller here, Jordan, that you're not going to be able to hear. But
before we get to the caller, I just realized you mentioned Orande. Yeah. I'm not going to hit my
No, it's
my
Wednesday.
touchdown bet tomorrow because we're not on a stream.
No.
So
Yeah.
I'm going Brock Bowers for the TD jackpot.
Ooh.
Tail me if you want, but it's going to lose.
Okay.
All right, let's get this caller. I think I'm going to grab like Grover, dude, and just kind of hold him in front of the camera.
Okay, see, that's why I was trying to go quickly because we got our guy Nick here, and we have him now. His dog was licking his head just mere seconds ago. Oh wait, hang on, Nick. I haven't unmuted you. Now you're good to go.
Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, I have my own Grover right behind me, my little Oscar boy over here.
Yeah, Oscar was licking Nick's head just mere seconds ago, so we missed the fun of that.
Who needs a shower when you got a dog like this, right?
Yeah, there you go. He cleaned you up good. All right, Nick, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Brian? How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, Jordan.
Jordan can't hear you. We still haven't fixed that problem, Nick. We've failed at fixing that problem now 5 weeks into the show. It's very impressive on all accounts.
I joined halfway through, so if you guys already talked about this, I apologize. I don't want to sound repetitive. Oh, look at Jordan's guy. Anyway,
dude.
So the starting quarterback situation. Have you thought about the timeline since when Ricky first announced his commitment till now? Have you gone through that?
Yeah, at some point. I mean, like Collins announced his commitment whenever that was, late December, early January.
And then Fran said, no, we haven't accepted it yet.
I guess I'd forgotten about that there was a weird weekend. I mean, obviously Collins was not the only guy they were going after. I forget what, obviously they were in on every quarterback in that early wave of
the Salter kid that went to Colorado, remember?
Yeah, who's also been not good.
Right.
Liberty guy? We're talking Liberty guy?
Yeah, the Liberty guy. There was talk of, obviously, what's his name, Mensa from Tulane that ended up at Duke and got all the way paid like they weren't going to be in the tax bracket of that one. And then, Carney was here early. We didn't think, who knew it at the time? Joe Filardi was here early, like that guy, who knew? Skipped out his senior year, lax for that. And, all those guys were here. We were talking Jakari Williams, Jakari Williams was here. That was the name we were still talking about. And then, you get to the spring, right, Nick? And then all the stuff happened with Trevor Pena. And, all the rumors about Trevor and doesn't want to play with Ricky Collins. And then, within less than a week later, Steve Angeli was here. That happened fast.
And then he loses they have a competition in August. He loses the job. Angeli gets hurt. He gives him the job. He loses it again. So it's been like a roller coaster, right? To say the least. Does that pose any threat or any question? Does he want? I mean, is he even willing to play? I know he's on the team. I get all that. Please, I'm not trying to say that, but what I'm saying is if it were me, I'd be like, you know what? No, I'm out next in the portal. I'm done, right? Type of thing.
Well, I mean, he'll clearly be in the portal, right? The question is,
right.
What would be if you're looking at Ricky Collins from a selfish perspective? What's best for his future?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If let's say he's given the option to start the last 3 games, and I'm not saying he has been, but let's say it's available. I think if you're him, you take it because the month you put on tape was terrible. You hope you play a little better, and then maybe you can slightly up where your next destination is. It won't affect his NIL here, right? Those checks have cashed regardless, and he got paid well for his time here. I haven't heard officially one way or another. Everything I've heard is that he's a good dude. I don't think he'd quit on going on the field if offered. I don't think that. Listening to what he said last night with the weekly interviews, he still seemed to be the same guy that he's portrayed the whole time. So I understand.
And will Fran offer him though?
Fran. I mean, go back to when Alford went in the portal when Fran got the job. That came up midway through spring ball, and Fran was like, "The door's there, and nice knowing you."
Right.
Fran's in a weird spot here because I think he'd like to do that with Ricky right now, but also knows he may literally need him if he's trying to save Carney's red shirt. If Lacrosse Kid became, I feel bad I'm calling Filardi Lacrosse Kid, but if Lacrosse Kid becomes just completely unplayable here, you're playing freaking Miami and Notre Dame back to back. I like Filardi in a lax game against Notre Dame. That'll be a good time down the line. In South Bend, I don't know as much. You may need Ricky to go in there and just wear it, wear it down the stretch, and that's the cost of doing business because you got paid a lot of money to come here.
it may be the case, Brian, and you're absolutely right. But does Fran have to eat crow to get him to do that? Because who knows what's transpired over the last couple of weeks, right?
I mean, it's got to be some wild stuff behind the scenes. Has to be.
Correct.
A lot of crazy conversations. A lot of crazy conversations. I don't know, Nick. I'll say this, and I think Jordan and I talked about this last week. I think Ricky should either play all of the snaps the rest of the year or none of them.
Or none of them. Yes.
Like all or none. The problem with the none, though, is now you're backed into a corner because it's Filardi and it's a quarterback that at least who knows what Jakari's deal is right now. Like if Jakari was available, I'd say, okay, toss him in there. Or it's Carney and you've said out loud that you're only going to play him one more game. So,
I know this isn't going to work because I can't hear, but I think Jakari's off the table. I get the idea that Jakari would have been on the table. It's got to be a thing where what you were talking about, Brian, Jakari has to be out the door and Fran won't play him. That's the only explanation for me. Because why would you not throw in a guy who's had a year of experience and played in the spring game over a lacrosse player? Like Jakari's definitely not playing because he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like how many bridges are burnt, right? Jakari isn't an option. And with the whole situation with Ricky, is that an option? And Beelan, he's not going to be in the quarterback room next year.
Right.
So what does that leave you with? If Carney's redshirting and he wants to do that, you have no option.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird spot. I mean, the good news is, like, wins and losses just as much as it stinks, it does not matter the next 3 weeks, but it could get bizarre. Like, if you keep tossing out a quarterback who went 4 for 18, like, say Filardi goes out and does that again. Like, say they start Filardi on Saturday against Miami, and he goes down to Miami and is 5 for 20, and then you roll him out against Notre Dame. You look insane. Like, you can't do that. And then like you're running out of people to put on the field. Nick, I think it's at least kept it fascinating here because it's been terrible to watch here of late. But it's at least weird, morose entertainment.
It's been terrible from 3,000 miles away too. So don't feel bad. You're not alone.
All right, Nick, man. Thanks for the call as always.
All right, Brian. See you guys later.
All right, there he goes. Our guy Nick out in Vegas, who he had dogs licking. Jordan, by next week, I swear to God, we will probably forget once again to figure out this so you can hear. Jordan is actively adjusting his lighting.
I got a new camera, by the way. I'm just sick of my phone looking better, but I have the chat on my phone. But yeah, it's a good point from Nick. Like how many guys do you actually have? Honorary burner. Oh no, the burners are in the chat.
Ooh.
Also, why do all the callers vaguely look like the same person? Is a hysterical comment.
Well, we could just do this for all of them. We could put up we could do
might
that
as
one.
well.
Or I've also got it like it's wider down that way if you need to go widescreen with it. So we can always have our man in the shadows.
What's your level of concern with next season? Like, here's something I was saying at the beginning of the season, and I feel a little better now that Troy James is going to give him speed drills. But like Yasin Willis is a guy who before the season I was like, damn, if they don't figure something out, he could leave. The wide receivers, like they're going to be without JRS and Cook, right? Like those are their two most talented guys. They'll have to reload there.
No, Cook can be back.
Cook can be back.
Yeah, I mean he's a redshirt sophomore. I think he's got like 2 years left.
Okay, so you think he's going to be back?
I didn't. I said he could be back.
Every game after the first bad play, I see him getting yelled at by a position coach. I would be shocked if he's back.
Well, the good news for him now is his position coach is the one that absolutely cussed out the Collins.
Oh yeah,
a few weeks ago. So we may see a Gaddis, Jonte Cook just explosion Saturday. So that could be a reason to watch when it's like Miami 55, Syracuse -6 on Saturday.
I think the defense next year, you're not really too concerned because, I mean, Devin Grant's a guy who like you'll definitely miss, but they have a lot of young guys who could go up, and some of the guys like, for example, I'm sure he's actually playing fine and doing his job, but I expected a heck of a lot more from David Reese than I've seen, for example. So those young guys, I think you're optimistic for on defense. The offense, when you look at it, they'll have Angeli back. That's big. What will the wideout room look like? They do have young guys who could play up, but we haven't gotten to see what they're doing this year. Those guys have not grown a lot this year because there's no way for them to do so.
Yeah.
The line hasn't looked good. Part of that's injuries. Part of that's we were hoping it was a little better. It's still not where it needs to be. And the wideouts, and the running backs, I don't think Nixon does Nixon have another year?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think he could.
Yasin, you hope Yasin stays, but you never know what some other school will offer him.
Kind of like that Tylee Kill guy. He's frisky.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm glad they started putting him in, but that's what I'm kind of wondering with football right now is, I mean, Nick was talking about burning bridges and stuff, and that's for this year, but like what's going on next year? His uncle will say he's not coming back.
It does help that
yeah, he will.
I get he's going to be a freshman next year, but they are bringing in a 5-star wide receiver next year in Calvin Russell.
That's a great point.
I'd say the hope is, I would have liked to see more from Emmanuel Ross and Jalen Hornsby by now, because think back to when Fran got the job. Like when those two flipped to Syracuse that December, that was like with the Lamborghini Ferrari Hibachi parade. That was like, those were the two guys that's like, holy crap, Fran Brown's doing stuff.
Hornsby was getting legit reps in camp, by the way. Like it looked like Fran was gearing him up to play a role this season.
Yeah, like those two. So you've got dudes, and I don't know, and then are you going to have the same? Is it going to be the same offense? Is it going to be a different? Because if Angeli's back, like the same offense makes sense. But if it's not a quarterback like that, so I don't know. I'm still. Oh God. I said that earlier today. I'm still in on I'd still buy long on Fran. This year's a mess, and he's not. I think his bravado has painted him into some corners here the last few weeks that he's realized he can't quite get out of. Yes, one of the colors did look like you, Govenda. I don't know. I don't know what that says, but you were indeed one of them.
Don't you dare say Samuel's not coming back, by the way, T-Take. I think they'll keep him.
Yeah.
I think Fran's been putting him on such a pedestal.
Fran's got to pay him whatever he asks.
But let's be real here. I understand that he's played well. Part of the reason he's a national story is because Fran spent the entire freaking offseason talking about how he was going to be a two-way threat. And he was talking about like Charles Woodson and how he was going to be able to, do this. Like, don't get it twisted. Part of the reason is because Fran has positioned himself to make Samuel a star. I don't think the kid leaves. He also just seems like a good vibe. He seems like he's having a good time.
I like the vibes. Vibe's good.
Yeah, so I hope he doesn't leave. I don't think he's going to leave.
Like, honestly, that's a huge thing this offseason, because obviously we know, like, Fran has recruited to a level that other programs in theory will be interested in some of these guys that are younger. Fran has been talking ceaselessly the last few weeks about more and more freshmen are playing. We're getting him in there and all that stuff. And then the portal will be open in a couple of months. Is Fran going to be able to keep the guys he wants to keep? Because obviously there will be churn. There's always churn. That's fine. But if he keeps, if Samuel's back, if Delorier's back, if, Boobie Johnson is back, if these freshmen are back, like Tylee Kill. Like if those guys are all back, Peel. Tremble, I think Tremble's got a chance to be a really good linebacker once you get him into actually train him for the position for a whole year instead of flipping him after the first game of the season. Like if you can keep all of those within budget and whatever, all right, I'm still buying long term, but there's a few cracks in the foundation here a little bit. And it'll be I think it's going to be a fascinating offseason to see how he handles it, how he handles staffing, especially the two coordinator spots, how he handles staffing going forward, because Elijah has they're boys, but he's not proven out to be a great coordinator yet. I think it's going to be fascinating. And then we saw it yesterday. Like, he goes and it's a name we've been talking about since June. He goes and flips to, this crap's all going on. Syracuse has been crap for a month and a half, and they go flip to Darius Hughes from Florida State. 4-star guy from Russell's High School. So Fran's not worried about the Cruton right now. He still feels good out there. Like, he's like, oh, oh, the quarterback stuff? Yeah, watch this. Like, I'm going to go get Tadarius. We got to do this today. Things are falling apart. Let's flip it around.
That Robinson thing is interesting because if that ever comes up, that's going to be, I mean, Fran has to choose between the two things that he seems to hold nearest and dearest in terms of the game of football right now. I'm not including his family, but his relationships and the Block S. And if he doesn't think Elijah's what's best for the Block S, that's going to be that'll be a benchmark moment if that does ever happen. If Fran Brown ever says Elijah, like, this isn't working, like, that'll be a real eye opener. Like, this guy's
like, is Robert Wright the co-defensive coordinator at the moment? They got everything.
I think.
I just wonder, like, there's ways to do it without there's ways to do it without banishing Elijah from the staff.
Yeah, I mean, they made Nunes the tight ends coach, which I saw people debating, is that a demotion or not? Like, I know he was the tight ends coach. I feel like you want to be the QB's coach. Yeah. I feel like you don't move him off if it's, not.
Like, because you could have done the other moves you did without taking him off the quarterbacks, right? Yeah. Arch Manning to Cuse. McAllister, that was his prediction a few weeks ago to me. Arch Manning. Arch in the portal. I think he might have been joking. I don't know. I think it's going to be a fascinating offseason. I'd say the one good thing about Fran here, and this is mostly because of him, because it's been crap for a month, right? It's been really hard to look at for a month. And we've had a lot of seasons like this in the last 20 years. And usually you just kind of zone out on it and half pay attention and basketball starts, and then you forget about it. Fran, at least, like, every Monday or after the game, at least wakes you up a little bit and just, like, something's happening. Like, Fran's just out there. He's doing stuff. You're like, all right, that was kind of wacky.
And that's what I was saying. Like, the word that I would use to describe Fran's behavior, and some might like it, some might not, but he's toned down the bravado and the machismo and the swagger, and he just genuinely seems remorseful. And, like, part of it is, okay, dude, like, calm down. Is this really your personality? We get it. You feel bad. But I don't say this in a rude or demeaning way, but this is just the best comparison. Like, he goes into some of these pressers like a dog with his tail tucked between his legs that knows he just peed on the rug. That's the attitude he's giving. Yep. And I kind of like it because it's not him just – he clearly understands that this is bad. And he's not going to try to ruffle feathers, but at the same time, he's desperate to show that he's trying things. Like, the quarterback situation aside, I think for the most part, he's handling all of this about as well as one can, because the main thing is he said that it was a 50-50, 51-49 QB competition. Look, that was in spring. I'm not holding that against him right now. Mm-hmm. I think he's handling this, the Titanic sinking. Like, he's playing some real good violin as the Titanic sinks.
Yeah, I mean, he's shuffling them deck chairs and we're watching the show. Like, it's at least, like, I don't think Syracuse has a shot in hell on Saturday. There's a reason we haven't talked about Miami or the game at all coming up this week, but I'm fascinated to do that. I do like the idea it takes a deep wallet to pull this off, because you'd also have to play big money to a replacement, but the idea of promoting Robinson out of the job so he's not getting fired, he's been it's corporate America, right? You promote people out of the important positions. Like, that's awesome. It would be amazing. You promote him to associate head coach, and you bring in, you make Don Brown or whatever.
Oh,
a guy like
how
that,
about this?
The DC.
We're seeing. I think it's is it the Syracuse City School District? There's school districts around here that are doing this. Elijah Robinson, highly paid defensive consultant. Just make him a consultant.
Yeah. Oh, that's how you do it. Now, like, E-Rob's still young enough in his career, like, man, like, because he's also in the I mean, there's a reason, like, Texas A&M wanted to keep him on staff down there once he was interim head coach, but they weren't going to make him their DC, right? They wanted to keep him as the D-line coach. They were going to pay him like more than $1 million, but they wanted to keep him. Like, he will be in demand as long as he is coaching, because he's an unbelievable recruiter. He's an unbelievable recruiter. But yeah, it's not been great so far as a defensive play caller. All right, we've gone comically long here. Anything else, Jordan? Before we go, should we take one last look at the bird cam? All is quiet in the backyard.
No, I might try. I'm buying new Amazon headphones too.
Okay.
I might try those. These are getting a little.
Getting a little.
One of them sounds like it's blowing wind in my ear, and then they're also just kind of getting itchy.
Was it that? No.
No, it
Getting
does
itchy?
sound like. Yeah, which like maybe just clean the little whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called, dude.
bud
What
part?
are these called? Yeah.
The nub.
Then is there a name for this? Like,
Probably.
what's the aglet for a headphone?
Yeah, the ear nub.
The
thing?
earglet?
Sure. Maybe you're naming it right
no.
now. Yeah. We're seeing that San
No.
Diego Q's. Like there's a reason he's been there's a reason he's
Yeah.
been a D-line coach, but there's a reason he's been an exceedingly highly paid D-line coach. Like there's a reason for all of it.
No, I got nothing really, man. Like let's go out. Next time we talk, basketball should still not have played a close game. So here's the challenge I have for Syracuse men's basketball. How about this?
Okay.
How about this? Let's end on this. Syracuse needs to beat Delaware State by more than Syracuse loses to Miami. That's what's going to impress me.
That
28.5-point spread, right?
it's too bad the games aren't in the other order, because that could be fun to see the basketball team try to catch up.
Well, here's the thing.
Instead, we're
like,
going to see
I
the
think-
football team try to hold it off. Like,
Good
all right.
point. Yeah. But Red, I mean, Donnie said it. Donnie was like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this, but Red talks about the net all the time. So if they can win by 50, they're going to. Man, dude, if I could open a sports book, that would be the hottest prop of the weekend.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Cross sports spread prop.
I like it.
DM me on Twitter if you want to get in on this. Like, I can play bookie. Is this illegal?
What, just the fact that you're making a legal book live on the internet? Yeah, it may not.
Well, I
Don't
didn't
go
call
meet
it
Jordan
an
in a
illegal
parking
book.
lot.
I didn't call it an illegal book. You did.
Just because you don't call it an illegal book. Jordan making book live. The show's over. That didn't actually happen. Everything.
Yeah. That didn't
Yeah.
count. Is this thing still
FBI.
on?
That's
Oh.
it's. We're cool. We're cool. Nobody. Listen to
Yeah,
Mello.
and
No
the FBI is
snitching.
busy. UFC fights are rigged, Brian. The FBI is busy. I could get away with this.
Everything's rigged. So Jordan, go rig the football and basketball spread. All right. So we got.
At Jordan D. Capozzi,
Yeah.
cross sport spread.
Yeah, go find him. He'll make your book. We're gonna go double post game show on Saturday. See how the hell that works out. The basketball post game show is gonna run into the start of the football game, and then we'll figure out what we're doing then. But we'll do that up. Jordan and I, no Fran presser on Monday because it is a bye week next week. Then Jordan and I will be back here next Wednesday night. All right, everybody, have a good night.
Thanks for watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. We'll see you next time.